Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the ever complicated romantic webs of our favorite daytime drama. We have some serious relationship milestones to unpack, and if you ask me, things are finally getting incredibly real. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let us break down the latest drama together. If you have been paying close attention to the shifting dynamics in our beloved community, you have probably noticed a massive transition happening right before our eyes. We are officially moving out of the ambiguous tiptoeing around feelings phase and stepping firmly into the territory where actions must speak louder than words. I honestly believe that when a relationship hits that critical juncture, you can no longer hide behind sweet nothings or vague promises. You either step up to the plate or you step out of the game entirely. Today, I want to deeply analyze two parallel storylines that perfectly illustrate this exact turning point. We are looking at Ted and Shanice, who are navigating the scary waters of deepening commitment. And on the flip side, we have Leslie and Eva, who are dealing with the harsh realities of letting go of the past to demand a better future. Let us start by talking about Ted. If you ask me, Ted has been on one of the most fascinating emotional journeys we have seen in a long time. For the longest time, we watched him struggle with the ghosts of his past, specifically his lingering attachments and unresolved feelings regarding his failed marriage. But recently, something fundamental has shifted inside him. During a seemingly casual lunch date at Orphe Jean's, Ted decided to drop a massive bombshell on Shanice. He looked her right in the eyes and told her that because their relationship has clearly leveled up, he wants the opportunity to meet her brothers. Now, I need you to pause and really think about the gravity of that request. In the world of dating, asking to meet the protective brothers is not just a casual suggestion. It is a declaration of intent. It is Ted saying, I am not just here for the fun times, I am here to integrate into your actual life. When I watched that scene unfold, I could practically feel the air leave the room. Shanice was completely taken aback by the request, and honestly, can we blame her? You have to understand where Shanice is coming from. She is an incredibly practical, grounded woman who has always maintained very clear boundaries. She has been through profound grief and trauma, and she does not hand her heart over lightly. When Ted asked to meet her family, you could see the wheels turning in her head. She immediately started wondering if Ted is truly ready for a long-term commitment or if he is just moving way too fast on the high of their new romance. I think her hesitation is completely justified. When you have been hurt, or when you are naturally protective of your peace, a sudden escalation in a relationship can feel less like a romantic gesture and more like a potential threat to your emotional stability. But here is where my personal perspective comes in. I do not think Ted is rushing at all. I think he is finally awake. The reason Ted is pushing for this integration is that he has genuinely finally accepted that his marriage to Nicole is completely over. For a long time, that door was left slightly ajar in his mind, creating a draft that chilled any new romance he tried to build. We all remember how agonizing it was for Ted to watch his close friend and business partner Carlton start dating his ex-wife. The jealousy was palpable. It was eating him alive. But look at where he is now. Instead of harboring that toxic resentment, Ted has actively chosen to rise above it. He has conquered his own ego. Just the other day, Ted and Carlton were hanging out in the country club locker room, chatting amiably as if the messy love triangle had never even happened. That level of maturity does not happen overnight. It requires serious internal work. Ted even went out of his way to tell Nicole directly that he actually preferred seeing her with Carlton rather than Kial. Let me tell you, when a man can look at his ex-wife and offer a genuine, unbothered opinion on her new suitors without a hint of bitterness, that man has healed. He has closed that chapter. And because that chapter is closed, all of his emotional energy is now entirely focused on Shanice. He is no longer looking backward. He is looking forward. And he wants her brothers to know that his intentions are honorable and permanent. From Shanice's perspective, this is a lot to process. We know she has been trying to figure Ted out. She even went behind the scenes previously to have a very candid conversation with Nicole, trying to understand the man Ted used to be versus the man he is now. That action alone tells me that Shanice is taking this just as seriously as he is. But hearing him ask to meet the family is the moment the theoretical becomes reality. She realizes that Ted is no longer just talking about their present dynamic. He is actively trying to build a foundation for a shared future. I think Shanice is going to have to make a choice very soon. She has to decide if she is willing to let her guard down completely and trust that Ted's growth is permanent. If you ask me, she should take the leap because this new evolved Ted is exactly the kind of partner she deserves. Now, while Ted and Shanice are trying to figure out how to merge their lives, let us pivot to the other side of Orphe Jeans, where a completely different yet equally intense emotional confrontation was taking place. I am talking about the explosive conversation between Eva and Leslie. Guys, this scene was an absolute masterclass in complicated family dynamics. Eva, who has survived so much and has gained a crystal clear perspective on life, decided it was time to hold a mirror up to her mother's romantic life. Eva flat out advised Leslie to give up on her lingering obsession with Ted and pointedly asked where things were actually going with Marcel. Let us break down Leslie's immediate reaction because it was textbook defensive psychology. Leslie instantly snapped back, telling her daughter that it is not a child's place to teach their mother about romance. Daughters shouldn't teach mothers about love. How many of us have heard a variation of that line from a proud parent? When I heard Leslie say that, I actually felt a pang of pity for her. That statement was not born out of maternal authority. It was born out of profound embarrassment and vulnerability. Leslie knows deep down that she has been clinging to a fantasy. She has been using the ghost of her relationship with Ted as a shield to protect herself from having to do the hard work of building something new and real with someone else. By snapping at Eva, Leslie was desperately trying to maintain the illusion that she is in control of her life. But Eva was not having it. And this is why I absolutely adore Eva's character arc right now. Facing your own mortality changes you. When you have been to the edge and back, you lose your tolerance for nonsense, even when that nonsense is coming from your own mother. Eva refused to back down. She looked Leslie in the eye and delivered a harsh, necessary truth. If nobody speaks plainly to her, Leslie is going to remain permanently stuck in a dead-end dynamic, chasing a man who has clearly moved on. Eva told her mother that she deserves better. She deserves someone who actively chooses her, not someone she has to manipulate or wait around for. I want to highlight the educational value of this specific mother-daughter interaction. So often in life, we assume that wisdom only flows downward from parent to child. But as we grow into adults, there comes a crucial turning point where we have to start seeing our parents not as infallible authority figures, but as flawed human beings who make mistakes, who get scared, and who sometimes need a reality check. Eva stepping up and parenting her parent in this moment was an act of profound love. It is not easy to tell your mother that she is making a fool of herself, but sometimes tough love is the only kind of love that can break through a wall of denial. And guess what? It actually worked. After Eva left the restaurant, the silence that followed was heavy. You could see the gears turning in Leslie's mind. Stripped of her defensive anger, Leslie was left alone with the undeniable truth of her daughter's words. She realized that she had been passively waiting for life to happen to her, waiting for Ted to notice her, waiting for Marcel to make a grand gesture. But passive waiting only leads to active resentment. In a moment of sheer empowering clarity, Leslie picked up her phone and made a call that shifted her entire trajectory. She called Marcel, but she did not call him to play games or to bat her eyelashes. She called him to lay down the law. Leslie explicitly told Marcel that if he genuinely wants to be with her, he needs to prove it with concrete, undeniable actions. No more vague promises, no more endless talking stages. She demanded effort. Let me tell you, I cheered when she made that demand. This is the evolution I have been waiting to see from Leslie. For so long, she has operated from a place of desperation, trying to force connections that were not meant for her. By setting a firm standard with Marcel, she is finally recognizing her own worth. She is saying, I am valuable, my time is valuable, and if you want access to my life, you have to earn it. When we step back and look at the broader picture of what is happening in Fairmont Crest right now, the thematic parallels between Ted and Leslie's journeys are absolutely striking. Both of these characters are standing at massive emotional crossroads. On one hand, we have Ted, who is actively trying to pull Shanice deeper into his world. He is the one initiating the action, taking the risk, and proving his commitment by wanting to face her family. He has done the internal work to clear out the baggage of his past with Nicole, and he is presenting himself as a finished, ready product. On the other hand, we have Leslie, who is finally demanding that someone else step up and match her energy. She has stopped chasing the impossible dream of Ted and is now requiring Marcel to demonstrate his seriousness. Both of these relationships have officially survived the murky, confusing talking phase. They have pushed past the initial infatuation and the comfortable ambiguity. Now they are standing in the harsh light of reality, where words are incredibly cheap and actions are the only currency that matters. Will Shanice overcome her protective instincts and let Ted meet her brothers? Will Marcel actually step up to the plate and give Leslie the consistent effort she is demanding? I do not know about you guys, but I am on the edge of my seat waiting to find out. If there is one major takeaway from today's analysis, it is this: never settle for a relationship that exists only in potential. Whether you are the one stepping up like Ted or the one demanding better like Leslie, you have to ensure that the people in your life are actively participating in building a future with you. Love is not a passive experience, it is an action verb. And right now, our favorite characters are learning that lesson the hard way. I cannot wait to see how these ultimatums and requests play out in the coming days. Keep your eyes peeled because the drama is only going to escalate from here. Until next time, stay passionate, stay analytical, and never be afraid to demand the effort you deserve.